Close out. There we are. Happened faster than expected. Hey, folks. Thanks for tuning into the BAMP podcast. I'm here with Paul Malcow from Union City Alliance. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. Really happy to be back as always, but especially to be talking about this.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to seeing this game for a long time. This should be fun. We're doing a demo of Paul's newest game, which I believe is called Union City Alliance, right?
That's exactly right. And we've got a demo of the first base game for Union City Alliance, which is called Heroes Unite. I'm going to be showing you a bunch of stuff from that today and more.
All right, sweet. And down below me, looking like the air traffic controller from the Top Gun movies, is Walt Rebelliard. How you doing, Walt?
Do not buzz the tower.
I just like to tee up those easy jokes for you, man. That's all I do here. So
Hey, man, it's just like volleyball. You set it up, I'll throw it over.
hey, that ties in with the whole Top Gun theme. We're working on multiple levels here. All right.
See what we did there?
Yeah. That's the kind of high quality content that keeps coming back to BAMP, folks. Check us out on Patreon. Like and subscribe. Okay, those are the things you have to see on YouTube. Now I can keep on knowing. Walt, are we live on the Sci-Fi Writers Play Old School D&D Twitch channel?
You damn skippy we is.
Hey, old school sci-fi writers. Good to see you.
Hey, guys. Yep.
All right. So let me look at some of the awesome images we have before we dive into a full-on demo. Let me do this. Hang on one sec. Sorry. Got a quick smoking those Reds.
Are anybody really smoking those Reds anymore?
Somebody, man. Cowboys. I don't know. Someone's got to be.
Cowboys. They got to get those Marlboro points.
Yeah.
Hitting up the lucky strikes.
You get enough of those Marlboro points, you can get a boat.
Yeah.
And it has an extra little seat for your oxygen tank.
Yeah.
All right. So, hey, this is Union City Alliance Heroes Unite. Boy, look at this game. This looks beautiful. Tell us about this, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a pretty new kind of game that does some familiar things in really interesting and engaging ways. It's a deck building game. So like most deck building games, you start off with a basic starter deck. In this case, we call them your origin cards. But in Union City Heroes, you choose to play as one of our iconic heroes, and the origin cards you have show you the powers and abilities of that hero. And instead of having just kind of a general 6-card marketplace that everybody has access to on their turns, in Union City Alliance, you move around the board. You explore to actually add panels to the board piece by piece. And on each new panel that you explore, it's a new block or a new building, a new location in the city, and it has new cards on it for you to buy, as well as city cards with challenges and enemies on them. So you actually build the city over the course of the game, find cards to build your deck, and all the while fight a central supervillain. It's a cooperative teamwork game for 2 to 4 players, though if you're kind of the kind of gamer who's into it, you can play solo. Myself and all the designers have done that many, many times, and it's a pretty fun game to do like that too. So that's the long and short of Union City Alliance.
Is the main bad guy named Francis? Because I feel he should be named Francis.
No, which one are you talking about? Well, first of all, it's in Heroes Unite. We have 3 different supervillains for you to fight, and the one you choose really affects the gameplay. And our villains in this are Alexander the Great, the Pteranodon of the Dino Mafia, and Crush, the Calamity that walks.
I feel that Alexander the Mediocre would have been a much more terrifying villain.
Maybe next time we'll do Francis the Mediocre.
There we go.
Here you're going for those colorful D-list villains, Walt. All right, so if we're looking at the box art, and we are, this guy here on the top, with the wreath in his hair and the flowing golden locks, that must be Alexander the Great. And this guy here is
Alexander the Great.
This guy here is Pteranodon of the Dino Mafia. I love the Dino Mafia, by the way. That's great.
Yeah, thank you. And then the big hand kind of sticking in the corner there is the hand of Crush, who is a giant monster who, as he smashes things, incorporates the ruins into its own being. So the more it crushes, the bigger and nastier it becomes, and it has challenges like when it destroys the water processing plant or the nuclear plant and gets that much more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if it destroys a taco truck?
Tacos for all.
Suddenly, he's the most popular supervillain in Union City.
Yeah.
Taco trucks on every corner. All right, cool. Well, hey, we got some of your components set up there in your room. Do we want to go to that first, or do we want to go to the Tabletop Simulator first?
Either or. Well, let me show you this, because actually this is a world debut here. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, we got in the physical demo, so nobody's seen this before. But here's the box.
Very nice.
The one we were just talking about. Very nice, right? And we've got our. Let me show you the map panels first. So this is what the board looks like when you start the game. Everybody starts the game on the starting panel, the hero headquarters for this game. So the board starts as this 6x6 square, and then as you go, you find more and more map panels, and each one has different stuff on it that you can do. Like the medical center lets you heal other superheroes. The super mall has free samples, so you get to recruit cards for free. The Coliseums, Are You Not Entertained, lets you get bonuses if you play power cards, and on and on. So like, as you build the board, not only are the cards you find on these different locations randomized, but the locations you find. So each time you play the game, each time you build the city, it comes out differently. And often that's pretty funny, because it'll be like, oh, here's the high school, and then the crater where the nuclear reactor used to be, and then the prison, of course.
Are those all in the same block?
Yeah. Well, yeah. However it comes out. And we also have so you play as one of the 6 heroes in this game, and each one comes with a character card. In this game, we've got Wrangler, who's like a super cowboy. Odysseus, who is lost in time and trying to get home. Lady Sunbeam, who's a support type blasting character. The Green Death, 2-gun vigilante. Dr. Tomorrow, who's a super science hero. And Captain Jupiter, who's a kind of cosmic champion. And each one of them has really different abilities that affect the game. Like Captain Jupiter can use her gravity powers to move other cards around the board. Whereas Odysseus, if he's exploring, gets bonuses. So the way each character with their cards is geared gives you a really interesting, unique feel for what that superhero is all about. And then with the bonus of, as a deck building game, you're going to choose the cards that you add into your deck and how that character develops, and how what kind of advancement you have as the game goes on.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm sure you've done a lot of playtesting, I know. Has anyone, what kind of comparisons do you hear from playtesters? What does this remind them of?
Well, it's a pretty unique game. So there are aspects that will feel immediately familiar, like any deck building game. You know, you buy stuff and it goes into your discard pile, and then once your deck is empty, it gets reshuffled, right? So there's some basic elements that are very familiar, but the way this game plays is really unique. We haven't really had people talk about like, oh, this feels like this game, because it really doesn't, outside of very basic game effects. The fact that there's a physical space to explore is unlike any other kind of deck builder. I mean, Clank, you kind of move around a dungeon, but it's not the same as this open exploration of a city. And the fact that it's cooperative means that sometimes, you know, you're over on one side of the board, and your buddy, your ally on the other side of the board finds a villain and suddenly gets in way over their head, and it's a race for everybody to get to them, which is kind of a unique situation that doesn't really happen in any kind of other game.
So you're kind of making the
other than like role-playing games, obviously, but you know.
So you're kind of making the physical environment, the city, sort of an element in the story. Sort of like how Metropolis is unique with Superman stories or Gotham and Batman stories, etc. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because Union City is kind of one of the most unifying elements of this, and so we really wanted the city, the setting, to be a major part of the game. And like any board game, the board is a major component, obviously. In addition to the city cards, which you get on the map panels as you explore, and they feature some enemies and some challenges that are iconic to Union City. And I'll share my screen now and go over to the Tabletop Simulator, because I think I can show you guys better some of the individual elements with that. Bear with me 1 second.
Hey, it's cool. While you're doing that, let me set up Tabletop Simulator. Is this thing you can buy for $7 on Steam, which is where you bought Half-Life, all those years ago. And but no, that's what everyone knows Steam from. And Tabletop Simulator, you can do all kinds of games on there, including Union City Alliance, which Paul is showing off to us right now.
Ooh, sexy.
Yeah, so there's the box as we've seen it. But if we come over here, we see our 6 heroes. And what I was talking about before was the city deck. So as you explore the board, you can see the same hero HQ we had there. So not all the map panels art is done, but so here's the Metropolitan Zoo, which has a lion enclosure that when you're on it, you can activate to release the lions and do 3 damage to an enemy on this or an adjacent panel. And on each map panel that you explore during the game, you also get a city card. For example, here's a cult symbol, which is a challenge that you can confront, and when you overcome it, you or another hero is able to go through your discard pile to destroy a card and put another card in your hand. So obviously, like any deck building game, destroying cards makes your deck more powerful because you're able to get rid of those weaker starter cards. But there's other city stuff going on, like autograph signings and adversaries like Mother Munchausen, who is a neurotic nurse, and her bad medicine ability means that to attack her, you need to discard a might card, and damage dealt by her is unavoidable because of her poison pill. So sometimes you definitely...
Should we dig into this and instead of like just talking about it, actually play it and see what we can
absolutely do? Yeah, of course. So let's do that. Who's
Mike should play the neurotic nurse.
Yeah. What are you saying, Walt? I guess I'm going to say just to say it, man.
Oh, yeah, I love you.
So
yeah, back at you.
Let's grab Green Death here, and we'll grab Captain Jupiter. Bring him over onto the Hero HQ.
Yeah, that would be Green Death would be me after a taco night.
Yeah.
So it's all about the tacos as well.
Tacos are life, man. Tacos are life.
So over here you can see our the featured villain right now is the Pteranodon of the Dino Mafia.
I love that.
We start off.
Artwork is awesome.
Thank you. We start off in issue 1. So on your turn, so you start off with a origin deck, which is 10 cards that are unique to that hero. So, like in some deck building games, everybody starts off with 10 wizards and 2 barbarians, right? And it's just 8 buying power and 2 fighting power. That's not the case here. Our characters all have abilities and powers and cards that are unique to them, some of which you even at the end of the game you'd never want to get rid of, because they are some of that character's most iconic abilities. Like, for example, Captain Jupiter has graviton manipulation, which gives her 2 speed, and with the activate, she can move a union or city card on her panel to a panel in range 2. So that ability to move around cards like that is pretty invaluable at any point in the game. So at the start of the game, and go ahead.
Oh, if someone's looking at this and saying, "Hey, this is amazing. How do I get a hold of this?" Where would they go?
So we will be live on Kickstarter in just under 2 weeks. On Tuesday, February 16th, you can go on Kickstarter and you can get not only the Heroes Unite base game, but also you can get the first 2 expansions to the game. Come on, stop going in my hand. You can get the first 2 expansions to the game as well, each of which comes with a new villain, a new scenario, and 2 new heroes. So, and again, with the modular nature of this game, that's a ton of replayability. So on a player's turn, let me draw my starting hand here. 5 cards. So on my turn, I've got these 5 cards. Each one has printed resources. If you see on the left-hand side of the card, that column, as soon as you play that card, you get those resources. So I'd play the cards to my play area. I get my 2 speed here. And then Captain Jupiter could go and explore. Oh, and actually, sorry, the game does take a little while to set up. So one of the things you would do is both make a union deck and stock the Hero HQ. So you'd start with 2 cards here on Hero HQ that you have available to buy. So right now we have Rapid Processing, which gives you Valor, and an alert that lets a hero draw a card and a hero discard a card. And Digital Native, which is a legacy, and that lets you gain Valor every turn. So I can't afford either of those because I only have 2 Valor at most in my hand. So I am going to do this Explore, and when you explore the board, you get 2 more Union cards. And a City card. So I bring Captain Jupiter over here to this new panel. And now there's not only more cards to buy, but there's also the City card that lets me use speed to get cool rewards. Like destroying cards. Cool. And actually, because I explored, now here's this Union card, Social Networking, that only costs 2. And I've got 2 Valor in my hand, because this Jovian Might either gives me 1 Valor or 2 Might. So I'll play these 2 for 2 Valor. And that'll let me take Social Networking, put it in my discard pile. Ooh, one in my hand. Unfortunately, I can't do anything with that 1 Might. So at the end of my turn, gather everything up and draw my new hand. Okay, so these are going to be my cards for next turn. But now there are 2 phases of each player's turn when you're done with all your actions, that where the real crux of the threat is. The first one is threat, and that is if there are any enemies on panels around me, they would come and attack me. So, for example, if I had gotten Red Leech here instead of that rooftop patrol, Red Leech is a parasitic Soviet spy. He would attack me because I would be on his panel, and he'd hit me for 2 damage because his fight is 2. And at that point, I could use one of these gambits. You see G-Force says in-hand gambit, discard this card to gain 2 defense, so I could defend myself. Or I could take the damage to keep the card. But regardless of whether there are enemies around or not, because that's something that's kind of in your control as a player, because you have the ability to fight them and defeat them before they attack you, or to potentially move away until you have the resources that you need to deal with them. But at the end of every player's turn, there is the peril phase. And what happens then is you play the top card of the peril deck, and that often leads, like in this case, to a plot card. And the plot cards are where all the villain's effects are. For example, Raptor Racketeers, which would come out and go onto the panel with the most expensive Union card. Then they would prevent us from achieving cards on any panels in range 1 and be around to deal us damage. Other examples of plot cards include Rub 'em Out, Spitz Jimmy, who deals the hero with the highest stamina 4 unavoidable damage. And Drive-by Shooting, Hit Squad, place a Raptor Gangster on your panel, it assaults you, then moves to the panel of the next hero and assaults them. So, at the end of every player's turn, there's a chance that the villain does something. It doesn't happen after every player's turn necessarily, because there are different peril cards. It's kind of randomized that way. But the plot keeps moving as the players go, and they need to defeat the villain before that plot deck runs out, or the villain wins.
Okay, cool. I gotta say again, I love the Dino Mafia. I wish I thought of that idea.
Yeah, right? I'm also particularly proud of one of our first scenarios, which are cards you can mix into the city deck, which is another way of kind of customizing the game, because this will give you a lot of new city cards that come out, which is a new experience. But one of the first scenario decks we have is the Street Pirates, who are exactly what they sound like. They are buccaneers who hijack cars and ride the roads of Union City, doing modern acts of urban piracy.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, Grant Morrison had an issue of 7 Soldiers, 10 years ago, where there were subway pirates doing the same kind of thing. But
there were subway pirates. Yep.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, so the victory condition is you have to counter the villain before the plot deck runs out. Is that the basic mechanic?
Yes.
Okay.
And the thing is, each villain has different win and lose conditions. So for the Pteranodon, you need to find a number of his underbosses, his dino mobsters, and take them out. And the number depends on the number of players. But for Alexander the Great, he's trying to take over the city. So you have to take out his outposts and then eventually him. Whereas Crush, the Calamity that walks, is going around destroying city panels, like wrecking the board. And you just need to defeat him, like right out the gate, as soon as you're able to. So each villain plays in a different way and has different ways for you to win. But they all function with this peril deck that has different effects that runs down their plot deck and acts as the ticking clock. Usually you don't need it, because by the time the 4th issue, the overtime issue, is over, generally speaking, either the villains have won or the heroes have won. But there is that aspect of a ticking clock. You can't just wait it out.
Okay, cool. It looks like a lot of fun. Well, hey, let me get us back to a normal layout. 1 second.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, cool. So launches in 2 weeks on Facebook, on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And can we get you back in 2 weeks? Maybe we can.
Correct. Just under 2 weeks.
Yeah. Is there a page people can go to click to get information or get a reminder when it launches?
Yes, absolutely. You can check out UnionCityHeroes.com or UnionCityAlliance.com. They both take you to the same place.
Okay.
There's a sign up there, as well as a lot of other information. Some graphics on how you play. You could take a look at our early rule book. There's some videos up there. And you can also go to Facebook, if that's your thing, and go to Union City Heroes on Facebook and sign up there. We're doing daily updates. We've got a countdown going, plus lots of great previews of stuff that's coming soon.
All right, cool. Can we get you to come back when you do a launch?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm around. We're playing D&D games together, or White Star games together, so we can definitely work that out.
White Star next Monday. That's right. And we have a special celebrity guest for that one, right, Walt?
Yes, Nick Cole will be joining us.
Okay.
We don't know what he's playing yet. It'll probably be something with sparkles. I don't know. I got nothing.
Can he be a glitter Wookiee?
That he can now.
Okay. So what time is the White Star game on Monday on this same Twitch channel?
You tell me. 2? Can we do 2?
I can do 2. Can you do 2, Paul?
That's noon, right?
Yeah. Wait, no, it's 2 Eastern, so that would be noon for Mountain Time. Are you in Eastern in Pennsylvania?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'm Eastern in New Jersey. Yep. Okay. Well, you're also East Coast.
Yes. Which is the only coast,
yeah.
As far as like food goes. I'm so hungry right now.
All right, fair enough. Well, hey, we'll have you back in 2 weeks. Talk up the launch. Maybe we can dig into the game a little bit more at that point. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll definitely spread the word on social media.
Terrific.
So what's the buy-in going to be? What are the tiers for the Kickstarter? Is it a $100 game, $50 game?
A little in between. It's a $65 for the base game, because it's got this the map that's all broken up as well as I think well over 500 cards. We've got like over 200 hero cards, over 250 villain cards, and just tons of awesome art. So the base game is $65. That comes with 6 heroes, 3 villains, 3 scenarios, 24 map panels, plus the hero HQ, and like over 150 tokens. And then each of the expansions is $25 a pop. So if you want to get the base game and both expansions, it's $115, and that will ship in 2 waves. You'll get the base game in September 2021, the same time as everybody else, and the 2 expansions in 2022.
You're muted.
Yep. Sorry.
All
right. Sounds good. We look forward to having you back in a couple of weeks to talk about this. And we'll definitely be promoting it all over social media. It looks like a really fun, unique take on the superhero gaming genre. So kudos to you guys for coming up with this.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I look forward to getting a chance to play with you guys, or talking about it more. We'll definitely see you in 2 weeks.
All right, sounds good. Any closing thoughts, Walt?
Dino Mafia.
Yeah.
I kind of want a Dino Mafia t-shirt. Actually, my kid would probably love a Dino Mafia t-shirt. So, all right, Paul, any closing thoughts before we wrap it up?
No, I mean, like I said, follow us on the Facebook. We've got so much, or Twitter. We've got great stuff up there. We just posted an image of one of the first 2 expansions, Hostile Takeover, which features Gertrude Gould, the CEO of Gould Industries, and are the 2 heroes, Union Maid and Rescue Dog, who is our super dog hero.
I really want to know more about your universe, even outside of games, because honestly, some of your ideas are just really cool. And I think I've got
yeah, thank you.
Here we go.
Yep, that's it.
That is pretty sweet. All right, cool. Are you guys looking at doing any kind of video game or mobile app outside of Tabletop Simulator?
So, I would love to have a digital edition of this game. I don't think that's too hard to do, but we'll see how big of a splash we make when this launches, or if any developers are interested, reach out to me, because a digital version of this game I think is something that would work really well and be a lot of fun. But no, right now that is not in our sights. We're really committed to getting this first game physically into people's hands, because we're really close to that. We've got it probably like 80% done from our standpoint, even more. It's just we're waiting on some art and we're doing some fine tuning. But our time frame to get this finished is like 3 months plus tacking on time for production. So we're in a great place, and then we want to get these 2 expansions done. So if this is a gigantic hit when we launch on the Kickstarter in a couple weeks, we'll see what can get done faster, or how that affects the timeline. But right now, all our focus is on this and getting these first 2 expansions, so we start having even more modularity and even more stuff to incorporate into the game.
All right, cool. I was just curious about the video game thing. I understand video game development is its own circle of hell, so I wouldn't push you too hard in that direction just yet, because that's a huge time.
And it's not something that, it's not something that any of us really do. This worked really well with the individual skills of the design team. It was stuff that was all in our wheelhouse, and we were able to accomplish really well. But none of us are in the video game or app development arena.
All right, no worries. All right, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks, and of course Monday for White Star. So to all our listeners and viewers out there across Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, thanks for checking out the BAM podcast, and we will catch you next time.